Alright guys, I wanted to show you my daily drink. Don't judge my dishes right now. I do have clean dishes over there, I promise. I just have a really small sink, so I feel like dishes pile up like crazy. But I'm gonna get my Hydro Jug. I'm very happy with Hydro Jug because they have this new lid now. My lid, because I put like flavoring in my water, it was kind of getting this, oh, I gotta put the top on, this black kind of mold gunk, and I could not clean it. But now they have this setup where you can actually remove all of the pieces to keep it clean so it does not get any gunk. So I'm happy about that. But I've been bored of plain water, just how I am. So I use Chow San Pellegrino lime seltzer. I typically don't like seltzer by itself, so I will put a whole can in. And then I get my True Lemon, which this is all gonna be like 0 calories, maybe 10 calories. And maybe 2 grams of sugar. So I just use the original lemonade flavor. It's just crystallized lemon. It only has like 1 gram of sugar in this. So I put a packet of that in there. So it's kind of like a lemon lime vibe. And I just finish it off with water. And it's pretty flavorful. And then you get a little bit of the fizz from the seltzer. And I'm gonna add some ice. Old school. We got the ice cube trays. I don't have an ice maker. I don't love them though because I feel like they get gross. I like my little ice cube trays, to be honest. But yeah, that has been like my daily water drink, and I'll drink at least one of these, and then usually I'll just finish out the day with regular water. But yeah, that is my drink. Okay, and I just went on a walk. So we are makeup free. My kitty's here, but we are makeup free, just some sunscreen. So I just wanted to chat, and I have my little drink here. I'm attempting to kind of do messier videos, just show up real. I don't want to feel like I have to put like, you know, everything together, unless I want to. Maybe one day I want to look nice or whatever. But I kind of want to give you the rundown on what I've been tracking. And then I also want to try a very light strength session. And I want to take you through it with me, as somebody who's been a personal trainer for over 10 years now. And just to show you that in different phases of life, like, this is what it looks like. You don't always have to be this shredded influencer with the perfect gym fit on, like matching sets. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I know there are times that we don't feel like showing up like that person. And maybe we're going through an injury, a healing phase, a busier phase. You're coming back. You're just getting started. You don't have a lot of money. And you just want to start. That is something as well. My cat just like wants me to pet him. There he is. He's being a goober. Hello. So if you see my arm moving, I'm probably just petting him because he's needy. But yeah, I do want to take you through that workout as well. He's been in this phase where he'll just be very meowy and loud and purry, and then he makes biscuits on this pillow. So sin biscuits, really. And I think it looks kind of like animal fur, and he'll start kneading and humping a little bit. So I'm gonna not show that. But so I want to give you the rundown of what's been going on, and again, I'll take you through the easiest strength workout in the world. But it still means something. So I made a video before kind of telling you what's been going on. I have been pacing. Like, I literally just crashed out of nowhere. I've had these little crashes before, and I assumed it was related to Hashimoto's, like autoimmune stuff. I would say overall though, after that bigger crash, I've definitely lost capacity. I cannot push myself past a certain point or symptoms start to present themselves. And so far, blood work has been good. My MRI was good. I'm going to see a rheumatologist. And also I want to say, anything I say is not like a diagnosis. This isn't me saying like, oh, I did this, you should do this too. This is me sharing like what I can do that's in my control, because I think what I'm experiencing, there's not a lot of science out there. There's a little bit, but there's no like set treatment plans. There's no like, yep, this is the cure. They don't even quite know what it is. And I think there's multiple layers, because I think like autoimmune is a component. I think mental health is a component. I'm actually looking into starting therapy because I think there's an element of trauma in there that can be very triggering on the body. And I think my body is definitely in a more fight or flight state. And I know that's kind of trendy right now, and it's kind of like that woo-woo, like the nervous system regulation is a popular trend right now, but I do have some science to back it up. So I've been using the app Bevel. This is not sponsored, but the Bevel app, Bevel, it takes my Apple Watch data and it actually will put into its own calculations and give you scores and insights into your health. And it is all AI run. I actually have the premium version right now because it does have like a little AI bot that gives you feedback and recommendations, and you could feed it prompts as well, based off, like, I actually set up a prompt for it saying like that I am pacing and these are the conditions that I have, and you know, tell me when to pace myself and this and that, and like, don't be too strict, you know, be a little lenient, you know, different things like that. So I gave it very specific instructions, but the three main things it will track is your strain, which is kind of your output throughout the day, like with workouts and just moving. It does recovery and sleep. So I never really wore my Apple Watch to bed. Another factor, how I said there was a lot of layers, another factor that I considered for my health was possibly breathing. So like sleep apnea, right? That's actually another avenue my doctor wants to explore, because it is one of those things that sometimes you don't know you have it. It doesn't have to be super severe. There's obstructive sleep apnea. There's all this stuff. I wear a night guard at night, also with my retainers. I'm somebody who wears those daily retainers post braces. I've done it every night, but it's very bulky in my mouth, and I already have a small mouth. So when my face is relaxed at night, I will sleep with my mouth open. So that could potentially be a trigger. So what I do, again, this mixed opinions on this, but I use mouth tape. It's like a little X shape, and I actually have to put 2 on because like I drool a little bit, so it kind of comes off in the middle of the night. But for me personally, mouth tape seems to work because it keeps my mouth closed when I sleep. And I feel like when my mouth is closed, like my nasal airway, my nose isn't clogged or anything, so my nasal airway, I just get better breathing. And I actually notice a slight change in my facial structure as well when I have my mouth closed at night, which is a positive thing. I think it improves the structural part. So I have been using mouth tape when I sleep, and even outside of that, sleep quality has been really good. My sleep scores are good. I get 8 to 9 hours of sleep at night. My scores are always like an Apple between 95 to 100, maybe some nights 92, you know. And then in Bevel, it can vary because, again, they use their own readings. You know, they track the sleep cycles, your sleep duration, respiratory rate, which my respiratory rate has been good. It hasn't been bad, like indicative of sleep apnea or anything like that. And I'd get between, like, I'd say 84 to 95% out of 100 in Bevel. So it is a little more strict in Bevel, I'd say. But the interesting part to me is the data that I found is that despite great sleep scores and like doing everything right, I'm a trainer, I drink my water, I stay hydrated, very rarely drink alcohol, I'm eating, you know, enough throughout the day, I'm moving in ways I can, which is mainly walking and yoga, a little bit of Pilates, so I'm not completely sedentary, but I was resting when I was crashing for sure. But despite this, my recovery scores were, I was getting like 30% recovery scores. And even now that I'm slightly improving, I'm still only like 50, 60% recovery despite good sleep. So I was like, okay, And let me explain what goes into recovery for you. So I found this interesting. And again, if you look into the science, apparently it's a little conflicting, but I'm just basing it off of my data and going with what I have because this is the closest thing to measure what I'm experiencing. So it measures your heart rate. A lot of things, it'll kind of track how fast your heart rate dips when you go to bed. Like if you have that higher resting heart rate when you're sleeping, that could be indicated of higher stress. So we're tracking for recovery, we're tracking for psychological stress. So that's not always worry stress. It could just be that your body is under stress. And that is where nervous system regulation comes in. And it tracks the heart rate and HRV. So HRV is heart rate variability. And based off of what I read into it, heart rate variability, because I didn't even know this was a thing, lower heart rate variability. So lower heart rate variability means that your heart is beating more steady and consistent, and I thought that would be a good thing, but it apparently means that your body is more likely in a fight or flight state. So it has to kind of be very like drill sergeant military perfect. So that gives you a lower score. But if you have a higher heart rate variability, which I don't know exactly how high this goes, I'm assuming it's on a scale of 100, but the higher the heart rate variability is, the more relaxed your body is, because then your heart doesn't have to beat exactly on cue. So I'm assuming there's probably less like adrenaline at play and systems at play, so you have a little more flexibility. And they say that people with better health tend, again, because everybody's different and people have different thresholds, tend to have a higher heart rate variability. And my heart rate variability has been low, very low. Like I have been in the 30s to 50s range. I don't think I've ever gone, I think maybe I might have gotten into the 60s occasionally, but that and a couple other factors of, again, tracking like my resting heart rate. It also tracks my stress throughout the day. That has given me that lower recovery. And something else I found very interesting is my heart rate's fine. Heart rate is fine. Resting heart rate's pretty good. Like I have good health factors, don't have high blood pressure or anything like that. Oxygen's good, but for how it measures my stress, my daily stress, like I will just have a normal day. Like I'll be here just like doing dishes, sitting here, and it'll be like, your stress is medium to high. You had a very medium to high stress day. And I'm like, what? So after seeing this for quite a bit, it made me realize that this issue probably lies in my nervous system. And this is, again, just all hypothetical. And this is what made me pursue therapy too, because I think this is something that you can't think your way out of. You can't self-care your way out of necessarily. Like I have used certain techniques. Like I have a red light, a really good red light panel that I'll use. That can be beneficial. Like I'll put my legs up where you lay down and you put your legs up so the blood flow can kind of come to your heart. I've done yin yoga, and that does help. I think over the long term, it does help kind of train yourself to come into a relaxed state, bring the heart rate down, calm the system. I've done there's a little technique if you breathe in deeply, and then once your lungs are filled, do a short, quick, extra inhale and then release. That can be like a quick reset. I've done a lot of these, and they're temporary fixes, and they do help, especially if you're like in a very high stress state. You need some quick tools. But I think overall, it seems like for whatever reason, my HRV is consistently low, despite how I feel. Good days, bad days. On bad days, it's worse. But the recovery is just crap consistently, despite doing all the right things in my control. So I was like, okay, this is definitely, again, something with the nervous system. My nervous system is in fight or flight. It's in alert. And again, I do, without getting into too much details, I do believe I have a form of CPTSD. And I've noticed that because it made me investigate, because just normal life things, I was experiencing certain things. Like it got to the point where going out was just like, I would be so nervous going out. My stomach would be upset. I'm always on alert with certain things, and I kind of just push myself through, forcing myself through, thinking like, oh, like, you know, if I just exposure therapy, if I do it more, it'll get better. It did not. It just kind of built up, and there's been so many little things that I think have built up because I have pushed through, and it just all came to a head because it was a bad mix of a ton of different things stacked on top of each other. Maybe one day I'll share more of those details, but just to give you a general idea. And I think that's the part I struggle with, because so much of the common advice we get is like, suck it up, just push through, you know, it'll get better, you know, maybe you're just weak, maybe you need to keep pushing through. And I did, and it wasn't working. So literally pushed myself until my body was like, no thank you. But I will say, since pulling back, that is kind of why I pulled back from just between like commuting to a gym back and forth. Like I was driving there 20 minutes, maybe just training one person, maybe teaching a class, driving back home, then doing a virtual, then maybe coming back later. Like, I think that would be a lot for anybody. Like, I've done like crazy training schedules for years, but it didn't feel aligned for where I was at right now. So just from pulling back and slowing down and allowing my body to breathe, it's been really interesting. I have observed things like my desire for self-care coming back. I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be a little slightly embarrassing, but many nights I would be too tired to like shower. Sometimes I would just skip a shower completely, or like it'd be a very half-ass shower. Like, I just, basic self-care just didn't want to do, and it felt like the only free time I had, it was like, oh, well, you got to clean the house, catch up on chores, do this, and I didn't have a lot of fun. There was no time for joy. I felt a lot of brain fog, and now that I have time for myself, and again, many different layers here, like, I think this is just one layer, like, oh, giving myself, like, pulling back a little bit, restructuring a little bit is one piece of the mouth tape. My recovery scores went up with mouth tape and my sleep, so that's one layer as well. You know, maybe pacing myself is going to be another layer. Maybe something the doctors find is going to be another layer. So there is multiple layers. I don't think there's one thing, but I think like when you have one layer, it kind of amplifies things. And a good sign for me is I notice my creativity coming back, because I am a very creative person. If anything, my drawback is I have so many ideas and not enough time to implement them. Too many ideas. So I notice my creativity naturally coming back. Me wanting to, oh my God, this craft looks so fun. Oh my God, I want to color. Like, wanting to color sounds so simple, but I literally just didn't have the energy to color. Like, I would look at it and be like, this is too much work. I can't do it. And now I'm like sitting down watching TV. I'll watch like a true crime documentary and I get to color, and it feels good. Like, I have the capacity to do it. Again, just having the brain clarity to talk through these complex topics. A lot of the times I would want to record stuff, like make content, and I'd be like, my brain doesn't even know what to say. And I would not have the energy to speak, like enunciate and move my hands and all this stuff. Like I just was really, I think I was running on low everything. I think my system was overwhelmed for many aspects. So it's been very interesting to see things come back. Again, a desire for self-care. I've been like playing around with giving myself at-home pedicures, painting my nails, doing a little bit more skincare routine, playing around with my makeup, having fun cleaning and organizing the house, like little things there. And I've been leaning more into events, pop-up events, and I think they work really well with my body and brain right now, because events are, one, I have a super creative brain, so it allows that to run wild and I can kind of show up in a way I want to. And an event is a set day and time, and I have adequate time to prepare for that. So I can, in my own time, throughout the days and weeks, slowly work on it until that day comes. And that's been working really well, as opposed to like, okay, well, I have to show up and do like 10 things today, and I have to be there at this set time. It wasn't working for me at that current time. So yes, me finding a rhythm. I got I don't know if you can see it back there, that little bar right there. I have a walking pad now too, for when the weather's kind of crap. I wanted to try to walk like in little 5-10 minute intervals throughout the day, again, to pace myself, because I feel like if I were to jump in, if I did anything like aggressive, I would potentially crash. I could crash. So I'm really watching out for like Bevel's been great because it's been tracking my activity output, and it'll be like, oh, well, if we go over this point, last time you did that, you crashed. So let's try to avoid going over that point. Or if I do go over that point, I kind of give it data. Like this past couple days, I've been able to push a little bit more and I haven't had a crash. But again, I'm very mindful of like, if I have a high output, I will literally lay in bed and like watch TV or something. Me before was not like that. I was very like, I gotta go. I gotta optimize. I gotta do everything and run everything and do everything. And it just felt, well, it felt productive. It was not efficient, I don't think. So it's been a very interesting journey, something to wrap my head around. I mainly wanted to share just in case maybe somebody who's going through something similar can feel seen or relate, because it feels very invisible. Like I said, it feels very weird having a lower capacity. I think it's getting better, but it's only getting better because I have been pulling back. And this is why in my training and coaching for people, I tell people that stress is very has a big impact on people. And when I say stress, I don't mean that you're worrying, because our bodies are so good at adapting to stress, and by adapting I mean like being able to function, not necessarily good quality of life, but our bodies are so good at adapting to stress that you may not even realize you're feeling stressed, because I didn't. Like I knew I had a couple higher stress instances, but it didn't feel out of the ordinary for me. And then it's like one day I just crashed out of nowhere. So it can be worry stress, yes, but it could be the stress of running around a lot, not getting enough sleep, maybe just pressure, maybe background noise. It could be trauma. Trauma is really, that again, that could be a whole video, but like, if you had a traumatizing event, our brains are really good at protecting ourselves. And what I've been finding for me is that with this particular trauma, it's more, I think I get subtle triggers throughout the day and I don't even realize I'm experiencing it. So you can literally have a scent from when you had that traumatic experience, and that could make your heart race and you could start to panic and you could not know why. You know, there's all kinds of different triggers, and again, you could not even understand what you're experiencing, but your heart rate could be elevated, you could be bracing, your body's like ready to fight or flight. So I think that is a component of this, but the heart rate variability has probably been the biggest standout for me of like trackable evidence of like, I've noticed that trend that my heart rate variability does tend to go up on these better days. It does seem like it's stabilizing a little bit, but when things are bad, it definitely gets lower. And when I have higher output days, it gets lower. Also, another weird thing is like on the stress scale, like in Bevel, it goes to red. You know, it has like yellow and red. It's on a scale of 100. Obviously when I'm sleeping, the stress is low, but like it blew my mind when I did yoga the other day in the sun. I got my heart rate up to 153, which is insane because it shouldn't be that high. Like I was stretching, I wasn't doing anything crazy. So that shows me my body was like really stressed, and it just showed, it's been showing high stress for yoga. Which I don't feel stressed doing it, but apparently it's stressful on my body. And it's not that yoga is bad, it's just that simple tasks can be very high stress on my body right now. So that is very interesting. And again, I'm not looking for advice. I just want to clarify, I'm not looking for input from people. You know, I'm just merely collecting data right now and trying to, with the variables I have, make myself feel okay and not crash and stabilize and figure out how to have a job, have a business, live my life in a way that feels good to me and like balance it all. So that's where I'm at with that. And it's, like I said, it feels like the Wild West because there's not much to go off of. It's just me. I'm sure there's people out there who have similar journeys, but I found a lot of them try to sell you their programs, or like, I don't know, they just have specific things that work for them. That's not what I'm doing. Literally just sharing my experience. With that being said, I do want to do a quick strength workout. I think I'm literally gonna do like 4 moves, just something so I can feel my muscles working, because literally it's been over a month. I have not strength trained. I've done a couple little like 10-minute Pilates videos with some ankle weights in my hands. I've done some body weight Pilates. I've done yoga, I've done walking, have not done strength training, and I really want to do that. And I'm just going to take you through it with me so you can see the imperfectness of like the people I like to help. I love to help people that are, you know, maybe they're going through chronic illness or autoimmune and they can't show up like these fit influencers on Instagram that they see, and they don't have to have that picture perfect workout and sweaty and the good angles. Like, you just want to show up and move your body in a way that feels good. In the space that you have, you know, whether it's your house that's looking messy or whatever, like, just, you can do that. So I'm going to show that for you. All right, so I have my 5-pound dumbbells. These were given to me by my mom like years ago, so they're probably from the 70s or 80s, but they're great. They're metal. And then I have a pair of 10 pounds, which these feel heavy, which is a little depressing, but you know, we'll get strength back. It can come back. So I think I mainly want to work arms. So chest press, skull crushers, weighted glute bridge, and a row. I won't be showing you all of it by any means. We'll do like 1 set each. So I'm gonna do 10 reps. I'm gonna start with the 5s. So we're on our backs with this chest press. Dumbbells are straight above, and look at those wrists. We want to tuck the wrists, okay? I'm gonna bring those elbows down on an angle, okay, and then squeeze the chest to press at the top. And again, this workout for me, it's not meant to feel challenging. I want it to feel like a 5 out of 10. I'm literally just getting my muscles moving and being like, hey, look, we're pushing weight. Again, I'm not looking to push myself because I don't want to overexert. Again, just getting the movement going, getting that feeling of lifting in my muscles again. We got 2 more. 9, I think. And 10. Good. And I did feel a little bit of a burn in the muscles. So I'm probably going to keep it at the 5s. That's where we're at, and that's okay. We will get stronger. Before this crash, I bench pressed 27.5-pound dumbbells for reference. So it's okay. It's all in cycles. And weight doesn't mean anything either, you know, it's all relative. Alright, and then I'm gonna do skull crushers. I was like, should I hold 1 dumbbell? But I think I'm gonna hold 2 of these straight up for the skull crushers. So what that looks like is the arms are straight up, palms are facing in. We're gonna bend the forearms back towards the top of the head, hence skull crushers, and then you're gonna extend up. Now the goal here is you don't want to dip too far below those 90 degrees because you can get some tennis elbow. So I'm just being mindful to not overbend, to put extra strain on the joints. Eight, and again, just 2 sets of 10. 9, 1 more, and 10. And again, that was kind of burning. But I'm trying to take like a 30-ish second rest in between. It's not going to be perfect, but again, just getting the blood flow moving. And this can be a perfectly acceptable workout. It does not have to be perfect. Alright, now for the glute bridge, I think I'm going to use 110. I think that'll just sit better on my hips. So 110, just resting on the hips wherever feels comfortable. I'm like a little bit above my hip bone. Feet are shoulder width apart. The heels are a little closer towards the butt. We're just gonna peel the butt up off of the mat, squeeze at the top, and then slowly lower down. And again, 10 reps. And you can actually do this workout with me if you want to rewind and follow along. That was kind of the point here.
are starting to burn. That's proof that it's not about the weight. If you have good mind-muscle connection when you're doing stuff, you don't need a ton of weight, and I believe that's why Pilates is so effective. 9, one more, and 10, good. But I think Pilates is really effective because you can work out in such a way that using light weight, you really activate your muscles properly, and it builds a nice base for learning how to properly engage and like really burn out muscles without using a ton of weight. There could become a point where it's like you're using too much weight, where different muscles start to take over just to like protect you, and you don't get to feel it the right way because you're just trying to push the weight and not actually feel it in the right spot. Like a lot of people, when they do hip thrusts, they can do 300-400 pounds, but they might be recruiting other muscles. But if you took down the weight and really focused on squeezing the glutes and going nice and slow, you'd probably get better results. I know it's a little bit humbling to the ego, but you gotta do it, right? And now I'm gonna do my row. I think I'm gonna stick with the 5 because the 10s are feeling a little heavy today. But I will say, so far I'm feeling good. Like I feel like my muscles are engaged. And again, I'm getting exactly what I wanted out of this session. I just wanted some blood flow to the muscles to activate the muscles. Like, hello, like you're still there. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. So I want to kneel. I might just kneel like this. So I'm gonna stick my butt out a little bit, and I actually like to bring my arm forward when I'm rowing, so I can pull back in a diagonal line. So I'm pulling back, pinching the shoulder blade, and then releasing. Seven, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm gonna do the other side here. Nine and 10. Good. Now, and something I will see when people row is they're kind of like down here and they're just pulling up like this. Okay, that's using your shoulder. So this requires more mind muscle connection when you're out, and you use your lat to pull back and squeeze. Okay, so something to be mindful of. We will rest as my cat seduces you. Also, interestingly enough, a little tidbit, without comparing weight or anything, I definitely feel a little softer. You know, just the reality of what it is of moving less. I'm definitely eating a little less because I'm moving less, so understandable. I feel softer, but ironically, which I probably lost a little bit of muscle, but I did lose probably 3-4 pounds. But it's funny because I felt better at the slightly heavier, more toned weight. So the scale is always a fun one. But again, we're building capacity again. Our bodies are ever changing and not everybody looks the same. Okay, so we successfully did 4 moves, 2 sets of 10. I'd consider that a pretty successful workout. I stuck within the weight that felt good for me. I made sure, again, because I've been a trainer, I know how to squeeze my muscles properly, proper form, slow and controlled. So it felt good. Got the blood flowing to my muscles, and I felt like I worked a little bit. So thanks for tagging along. Again, I just wanted to be real, and just give you a real life update of everything and show you the realities of the healing process. And it doesn't always look super curated and aesthetic and glamorous, and that's okay because this is real life, and I think maybe we need to show more of that. So I'm doing my duty here. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.